Hello again. This is Troy A. Shadow Intronics, day 5 of the world building project. And because I had to go shopping, I only had time to draw one character today, mostly because the other one, and I'll get to hopefully tomorrow when I can get it done, I have to kind of redesign. And I'll explain why. I hope, like I said, hopefully tomorrow when I reveal that character. So what we got here. The focus doesn't want to focus, so I apologize. Not the way, not where I want it anyway. We can play some games here. Probably not. Oh, okay, again. All right. Hang on. Yeah, best I'm going to do that. This is Dr. Carbonoid. He is the first villain we see fighting Captain Yuletide, and all the way back in the first issue. Basically, I just want when I first did, I just want to have superhero versus supervillain, ordinary stuff. Later on, I had them fighting. I had them dealing with other kinds of villains, and the next one should be kind of unique too for the series. But Dr. Carbonoid is basically your typical mad scientist cyborg who hates Christmas because he didn't get a death ray as a kid from Santa Claus. Yeah. Kind of villains we would see before. They were already evil and they hate Christmas because they didn't get their evil thing, and so they just became even eviler. And Dr. Carbonoid is, as you can probably notice, a cyborg. Right, so I'm moving closer. Okay, maybe just doesn't like the angle, but you can see he's got a robotic arm. Part of his head is robotic. I think I didn't want to give him like completely half robot because I thought that would just a bit too far. Just a few cybernetics to show that he's a big technology guy. In his story, he tries to ruin Christmas with an army of robotic snowmen. But so you kind of see here, he's got this part here is half robot. As part of his head has got this thing on it. I don't know if that's a head, supposed to be a headpiece or more cybernetics. But him, he could probably go either way. This is definitely a cybernetic arm. And so for this one, I actually had to draw him in four different sides. And his looks a little smaller here because one thing I need to learn to do is consistency. That's something I said before. There's also the fact that his head, if I drew his head the right size every time, it would have been fine, but I haven't, and that was the whole problem. I think it was easier for me to do that when I do the all the skeletals at the same time. But I did his head first, and I drew Carbonoid entirely first, and that's the problem because there's a little more little changes that you make between your skeletal design and your basic shape outline shapes, thumbnails, I guess you call them. See, as an artist, I'm a writer, so I don't get the terms exactly right. I apologize for that, but basically, you make little changes, and that kind of, and then I'm trying to base the next circle based on the changes, not on the original head. So then when I make those changes again, it gets a little smaller and it gets a little messed up. So that's that's something I need to probably figure out. But I wanted to make sure to get all of his angles because he's got one side it's partly this headpiece or whatever it is, and then the cybernetic arm. I had to draw one side with those, and then one side with the normal, so you get an idea of here's where the head thingy is, and then here it is on the back side. But so you had to see that on this side he has a normal face and he has a normal arm, and here you have the head thingy and the arm, which is slightly longer than his human arm. And I try to put little things in to show that that it can bend, and probably has a swivel that I just didn't draw, or maybe this is supposed to be the swivel here. I don't know. Something I can think of. That's easily fixed with a couple of pen lines, so I can always fix that if I want. Yeah, it kind of shows. This kind of says evil roboticist who wants to destroy Christmas, and it's such a nice design. I like his design. It's a cool design for a villain, and I kind of want to use him again at some point. Not in the next story. It wouldn't fit in the next story, but I definitely want to try and use him again at some point in the future. In fact, it would be interesting at some point to do a story where all the villains come together, so all the previous Captains Yuletides, grammatically correct here, that I've created have to come together. But it's kind of not the story that I want to do next. And the story I do after that, probably not either. I have some vague ideas of what I want to do for next year's story. But I got to do this one first. But first, I got to get this thing done. One of my friends suggested I should do this monthly because I'm doing it. I barely get this comic out on time as it is. In fact, part of this project is trying to make sure that I can have the Christmas comic done at Christmas. And this is not the project that I want to do monthly. I have another project in mind for that, but first I've got to start getting myself into a working schedule where I can start making comics regularly, get some of these one-shot ideas out of my head. Then I can consider doing a monthly project. And that's kind of where I am right now. And then is setting up to do just this one annual comic. And that's kind of why I'm doing this. This is kind of practice and getting myself working so I can start doing stuff slow and steady to become where I want to be. And I wish I was there now, but I've had all these delays the past few years, and I haven't even considered making a story Bible for Captain Yuletide until just recently. So that's how that goes. So that's what I did today. That means I still have one more character sheet that I have to do because I want to have them all on a record. Then there's a few other else I might do later, but I would like to get that last one done, and then I can shift gears to the layout for Workshop 25 and then get into the writing stage where I start writing character backgrounds, fleshing out the lore of Captain Yuletide, and everything else that I want to get this book done. If I'm done by the end of the month. And I'm going to have another distraction next week, and so I want to try to get as much done as I can. And I wish I'd been able to do more, but like I said, I give the last character I want to do, I pretty much have to redesign him from the ground up, and like I said, I will explain why, hopefully tomorrow, but talk tomorrow, I have to end today. And so if you're curious to check this out, I'll have an end card link coming up, if it's not there already, to go check out the previous 4 issues of Captain Yuletide. And you can also hop around and look at all the other articles that I have on my site at bwspotlight.com. And with that, I will see you tomorrow and wish you all happy creating for day 6.